Ed and myself. We have young Mr. Jackson and two more gentlemen.
Okay.
Oh, Mass DOT.
Dave, can you see me on the camera there?
Yes,
Not
I
that it
can.
not that it makes any difference.
We can see you, but you can't see us. So
Right.
I have to come over if you can fix my camera for me.
Okay. Okay. Eddie's there. Hi, Ed.
Yeah. Ed will host the meeting here.
Yeah, that's fine. How many building and board of health apps do you have there?
One so far. There's a Lamar room.
Monroe.
Then that one's for discussion.
Yes, it is. He was here last meeting, and I guess he got on the agenda, but it's in the walk-in session, so
Bill, can you hear me?
he should be able to hear you here. Bill, respond if you can hear Ed.
No, I can hear you, David. That's all I can hear.
Oh, you can't hear Ed?
No. Tell him to turn his audio gain up.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Bill?
Your little mic thing is.
I hear someone in the background. Sounds like they're like in a barrel or something.
There you go.
Can you hear me, Bill? Can you hear me now, Bill?
Dave, why don't you give Ed your computer? Have Ed sit in front of your computer, and you guys can sit next to one another.
All right.
All right, let's go through this real quick. Just throw that like this. This.
Maybe.
All right. I'll shut mine off because it's just.
Yeah, it might back feed.
All right, Bill, I'm on Dave's computer right now.
Okay.
and
Yeah, you're loud and
it's-
clear now, Edward.
Yeah, I just shut off my phone because it just keeps reverbing back and forth. So it's 7:00, Town of Granby Conservation Commission. We're going to open the meeting for Tuesday, December 13th at 2020 at 7:01. Start of the agenda, building and board of health permits. We have someone here for a building permit. Come on up. This is
Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson, Jr. So this is the building permit for Amherst Street.
Yep.
So this is the one we just went over.
Ben
So,
Thornton. Yeah.
so I'm going to make a motion to approve the building permit based upon the order of conditions that were issued earlier, or the notice of intent that was approved.
Yeah, this is for Thornton, Ed?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, I second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, we'll sign off on this bill, and Mr. Jackson will take this with him.
Yeah, advise Mr. Jackson that I believe the building inspector is there from 4 to 6 p.m. Twice a week. I think it's Monday and Wednesday. They're active. That's it.
Yeah, I think that's what I heard.
How do we do it? Just
initial
initial?
it, yeah. There you go. You're all set. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
All right, so we have no one else here for building permits, so why don't we just go through the,
Mr. Lamro?
no, that's not him.
That's
That's
not
Mr. George Costa.
Oh,
Let's go through the administrative stuff. Item 1 is commentary. Bill, do you have any commentary?
Yeah. Now that we're minus a staff person, it's more important than ever that we all get up to speed on the wetland regs. What I plan to do is to give you guys selected sections of the regulations to peruse. we only really use about a quarter to 1/3 of the regulation. So what I'll do is I'll give you specific section numbers to study, because it's really important now that we don't have Janice, that we take this on our own shoulders and bone up on the regulations. Now, if we elect not to do that, we can do that too. However, then we're going to end up peer reviewing just about every project. And you know what peer reviewing does? It costs money for the applicant and it takes a lot of time. So I think in service to the citizenry in town, we ought to try to bone up a little more on the regulations. Do you guys agree on that?
Yeah, and you'll identify which are the pertinent reg sections that we should be familiar with.
Yes, yeah, I'll send out a little memo. I'll send a memo out in the next few days as to what to study.
All right.
That works for me.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Any other commentary?
I don't have any.
No, again, we're minus a staff person, so I hope we can tread water for a while.
Right, right.
Are you here for a building permit?
No, I'm on the agenda, 7:15.
7:15.
Oh, all right.
Mr. Lamoureux?
Mr. Lamoureux?
Okay.
Perfect.
Let's post the next meeting for January 10th, 2023.
That is it.
Second,
There you go. All in favor? Aye.
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 Item 3, approve minutes for November 15th, 2020. We only have 3 members here, so I'm guessing we can still approve them.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
administrative.
Do you agree, Bill?
Yeah,
Bill?
yeah, I'm good with the minutes, Dave. Thank you.
Do we have, can we approve them with just 3 members?
Oh, that's right. We cannot do that. Good point, Ed. We cannot do, we have to table it till next month.
We'll table
Next meeting.
till the next meeting unless another commissioner
Yeah.
comes in. We'll table that till January 10th, 2023.
Yep.
Bills to pay. Bill, do you want to go through that? You have Janice and some other miscellaneous.
Stockman.
Yeah,
We've
yeah,
got-
but and again, guys, we don't have a quorum tonight. We're minus Kevin because he got hurt at the golf course today.
Well, anyway, in other words, these bills can't be approved tonight because we don't have.
Well,
a
I don't
quorum.
know. Haven't we approved bills with a less than quorum situation, Ed?
I think so. I mean, I don't know these are bills that have to be paid. It's administrative.
Yeah, okay. All right.
It's not.
Let's take
It's not a
let's
public
take
hearing.
Yeah, let's take exception to that. All right. So,
So
could you read the amount of Janice's bill, please?
Well, do the one we got on the screen, Bill. Emily Stockman, this is the one she submitted November 16th for $650.
Okay, and this is pursuant to the Eversource transmission line upgrade project.
Yeah, it was the site inspection with GZA on November the 7th.
Yep. And this is being paid through an escrow account funded by Eversource. Yes, I move we pay $650 to Emily for that particular invoice.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye. Okay, that's good.
Okay, there's
Okay,
one
Dave,
other
I think you have
one.
another one from Emily.
This was submitted on August the 12th. Again, it was another Eversource report review, and it's for another $650. Hmm?
Are the dates
Okay,
different?
I move we pay that
Yes.
bill for $650.
Second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye. Dave, would you be kind enough to email me? I'm sure they're on my computer somewhere, but could
Yeah.
you email me a fresh copy of those 2 invoices, please?
I will.
Thank you.
And then the last one is Janice Stone. I wrote on that one. Janice Stone, this is her last invoice for hours only. It's 74.25 hours for a total of $1,856.25. It's basically includes her time on other projects, but primarily the Munsing Ridge document.
Right,
Yeah, that
right.
was-
She did a great job. taking charge of that Munson Ridge project, and I applaud Janice for her service on that. So I move we pay that bill as stated.
Okay.
Second. Discussion,
No discussion.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed unanimously.
Okay, very good. Thank you, guys.
Today's 13/22. Should make a note, please pay on top of it.
Do you want me to bring these over to you, Bill, and you can sign them also, or can we leave them for Kathy?
Yeah, email them to me, and then I electronically sign and send them to Kathy electronically.
Okay.
That's the way we've been doing that. Thank you.
It's 7:09. We have a
Yep.
little bit more time.
Financial accounts and quarterlies. Do we have those there?
I didn't see him when I went through things, but
Anything of particular note, Ed?
he's looking right now, but I didn't see anything when I came in earlier.
I don't see quarterlies.
Okay.
Nothing in that set of folders.
All
Administrative. Not, they have not been provided at this meeting.
Yep.
Outreach education, plant of the week.
The only thing that I don't know if this is worth it, there's a free seminar tomorrow that I was going to attend. It's a webinar, Bill, on the ecology of the riverfront area and the importance of regulation within the WPA. So
Who's putting on that talk, Dave?
MACC.
MACC. Oh, good. Yeah, wonderful. Well
So
done.
that's open to everybody and it's free, and it's at lunch. It's only an hour. So those I can
Okay,
make.
Dave, the deal is when you go to these seminars, you're expected to brief us on what you've learned the next meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
So take good notes, which I'm sure you will.
Yep.
News and
Very good.
announcements,
Thank you for
Bill?
doing that.
You're welcome.
Any news and announcement, Bill? Other than we lost Janice?
Yeah, again, we're minus Janice Stone. Janice worked for us for just about a year, did a great job. We're going to make do for the time being. And if we start to go underwater, we're going to have to find somebody else. But at least for the short term, we're going to try to handle it ourselves internally.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the negative is on complicated projects, we're going to have to rely upon peer reviewers, which will drag out some projects, unfortunately. Again, the nice thing about having Janice on board is she's streamlined a lot of the permitting for people.
Right.
Okay.
And
Site
we wish her
visits and
well.
gravel permits.
Okay, the only comment on the site visits and gravel permits, Bill, has to do with Janice had asked about if the gravel permits have been issued yet, but I think they have for this year, 2022, not for next year.
It's not every year they have them signed off. So
Well,
Hey,
all the site visits have been completed is the point.
that's
I wanna
correct. You
make.
guys were out there.
We did all of them for this
Okay.
year. And then the outstanding ones are Dufresne Walk and Cutting Plan. There's one on 7 Phillips Circle, which is
Ongoing.
ongoing. And then the gentleman from 19 Deerbrook Drive had wanted us to look at something, but then his wife had a baby and we've been on hold. So I don't know if we keep that on the agenda or let that fall off and let them come
If
back.
it's not officially filed, then just.
It's not officially.
I'd let that one disappear for now. Hey, I had one comment on the gravel pits. And Ed, you might be able to help. Someone called me 3 or 4 days ago about some tree cutting on the northeast corner of the Ondrick pit.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't drive that way very often.
Okay. Ed, would you be kind enough to call young Taj or Adam up and see what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, we should probably take a drive by first, take a
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
it.
I'll do it.
Visible
Dave and I will do a drive-by, but at least give the courtesy to Andrix, call him up and ask him what's going on and whether or not that was
do that,
part of
yeah.
their notice of intent filing.
Is it in a wetland resource area, outside a resource area?
I don't know. I know nothing. That's why we got to go up there and do a site walk around.
We're talking on the corner of Chicopee and Kendall?
Yes.
On the Andrick side.
Yeah.
But the wetland is way down by Stony Brook. There's no wetland
I
at
don't-
that intersection.
Yeah, I don't think there was either, but sure. We could, I'll give him a call.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Just, Bill, just shoot me a text tomorrow to remind me, I'll call one of the Andrix
Okay.
and ask.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Correspondence, we have 1 minute and then, you want to hold off on this till
We might.
7:15?
Mr. Lamoureux is.
Okay, so it's 7:15. We have I guess, a discussion, informal discussion at this point with Mr. Richard Lamoureux. We don't have a quorum, but this is not a public hearing. So I guess the floor is yours, Mr. Lamoureux, if you want to come up.
Yeah. So what's going on with the Granby phone then?
Okay.
Ed, I'd recommend we limit him to 10 minutes only, please.
Sure, that's fine. Yeah,
Oh,
we'll-
No,
it's an informal discussion at this point. Let's.
Yeah, that's right. But again, we can't bog this meeting down with this. So it's 7:15. He's got to stop at 7:25, so we'll give him 10 minutes. Go ahead, Mr. Lamoureux. Nice to see you.
Yeah, how you doing? So what's going on with the Granby Bow and Gun and the DEP permits and stuff on the property over there?
I'm not familiar with it at this point.
No.
There's nothing that before us formally as far as permit process.
Well, how can he fill the top of the mountain and add another 500 yards to the range and build the mountain up on the top and then flood? Did you see the pictures?
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
Yeah, so what did you think of that? What did you think of the stream?
Ed, I would recommend you have. Ed, I'd
Excuse me?
recommend you have Rich talk to DEP because the last permit activity was a DEP enforcement action on that property several years ago. It's out of the local jurisdiction, so I'd have Rich call DEP wetlands in Springfield.
What was that last thing that we did? Was that an enforcement or was that a DEP thing? Because there was one point they were in before us. But then I don't know if that DEP did a superseding or took over, or that was before. Do you remember, Bill?
Yeah, that's right. That's when they were clearing for the new long distance range. But I think that was essentially under the auspices of Army Corps and DEP. Yeah, I would strongly recommend that he call DEP wetlands to get the correct information from them.
So that's what Bill's recommended. So
So-
your.
Is there anything?
Can,
Yeah,
I was just
call
looking at their-
784-1100. Ask for Tom Gukos.
He's the new guy there though, right?
Yeah, he's the new guy. He's a kind of our circuit rider. Yes.
Okay, so-
how can they get away with building the top of that mountain and probably bringing in, they probably brought in about 2,000 yards. I don't know, but I see all the debris coming over the top. I see the bulldozer coming over the top of the hill, pushing the trees over because he didn't get a cut permit. They wouldn't give him a permit to cut. So he just bulldozes them over. He's dumping all these stumps and all this other debris up there. It's not only dirt, it's a mixture of everything. There's no inspection of anything on the site that I'm aware of. And I see this from my back window of my house as the bulldozer's pushing the trees off the top of the ridge of the mountain. And either my shed moved about 10 feet or the mountain grew about, I don't know, probably about 100 feet. But how can you put in a 500 yard, add another 500 to a 700 yards more to the 1,000 yard range? He's looking to put in a 1,500 to a 115. He's got a 1,000 yard range. He wants to add another 500 feet to it. to 700 feet, yards more to it. So he wants to have a 1,700 yard range, anywhere from 15 to 1,700. How can you take and bulldoze the top of the hill, push the stuff into the brook, towards the brook, and have it leach into it? I was out there Wednesday after the rain last Tuesday, and I still see a little bit of stuff coming into the brook. Who did a site visit up there? And was there a site visit up there? I noticed they put a little bit of hay bale down near the road on the town property after the existing problem where just about the mud just about came to the street. And he's just bulldozing whatever up there. And you know, usually I thought if you did something over 40,000 square feet or something, you needed a NIFTY's permit and stuff like that. But I've yet to see any permits posted over there.
Right.
Rich, you go in front of all the power lines and you see DEP signs in front of all these power lines. You see nothing over there. I see no sign of inspection. All I see is a lot of trucks going up there at one time. I mean, they turn around triaxles and dump trailers and everything.
Respectively, I would strongly recommend that you call DEP because they're still under the auspices of that original enforcement order. And I would probably follow up with them because that would feather into that particular event.
Me to call them or you to call them?
No, you call them as a citizen. You call them as a citizen.
Okay, because I know they were waived like $6,000 in fines, and to see him push his stuff into the brook, and I don't know what they did on the backside there, but they put a little thing up near the street to hold the mud back from coming into the street or something. It doesn't even cover the length of it.
Have you been able to get on this?
I have a no trespass order since 2017. This is what I observed from my backyard. It's funny because all the butters who've been there over 40 years were served the no trespass order when this all started, because we were well aware of what he was doing up there.
Well, DEP in the past, and I think this is how they got caught last time, was they take a look at, they have, Mass GIS has Mr. SIG, multi-resolution seamless image data, and they overlay the photos through the years, and they see what activity's been going on. They also have, was it LiDAR, or they have some kind of,
Well, I know they can compare
they image
photos.
it, so they'll overlay it, and they'll see the changes in what's going on. That's how they got caught last time. And that's how other people get caught. There was a
They got caught by a member turning them in.
Well, I
That's
understand
how
that,
they got caught.
But this is how they've been doing it recently.
Yes.
So a couple gravel pits in the area, one of them, that's how they got in trouble. So DEP should be able to overlay and see what activity's been changing. The photos, I think, were just done in the beginning of January this year, 2022. So that's the last image.
January of 2022 was from them. Well, there's been a big change up there since then. I mean, I heard dump trucks all summer long dumping on the top of the ridge with the foliage and the leaves there where you could not see anything. Once the leaves were down on there, oh my God, what did they do up there? You know, I don't go on their property. I have a no trespass order. I respect the order. But, you know, I can't sit there after being at my residence for over 40 years and watch this destruction of this property. Now, there's laws in the state of Mass here, you know, it's like Chapter 61B talking about recreational areas and stuff like that, not to interfere with the land. I don't know how much land he's actually, everything's bulldozed. Now, he put a statement in 2018, May. He sent the thing to the select board, to all the town boards, and he was going to build a bridge to get over the wetlands here. How did he get over those wetlands to do all the work he did? There's no bridge there.
That was part of the enforcement order, that crossing.
What's that, Bill?
That crossing across the ditch that they piped, they made them remove the pipe, but DEP allowed them to put in a small bridge to cross to the eastern side of the site. That was
Is there a bridge here? I don't believe so.
So
He's in total violation of the law up there.
I guess, you know, the only thing we can do is take a drive by at best to take a look from the street.
Well, that'd be from the street.
That'd be
though, right?
only from the street at this point.
Yeah.
And
we can't even see that site from the public way, guys. There's no way we
I
can
know.
see that
I
site.
understand that, yeah, because it goes up, the hill comes up and then drops back down. and it
He's
goes
berming
back
everything up so you can't see anything in there. It's like a big bowl.
look, the issue is.
Yeah, the only thing we could do legally is take a drone, go up in the public way to 300 feet and look over the trees. That's the only thing we can do. We can't go above 300 feet without a special license, and we cannot cross the plane of the property line with the drone.
Chris,
Bill, you need a license to fly drones.
Oh, no, I realize that, but you need another grade of license, Ed, to go above 300 feet.
I know. Well, no, even depends on the area. We're close to Westover. You might need.
Well, you got to call the tower. The tower will give you a permit.
They say, present us some pictures, and I presented some pictures that were
Those
pretty,
photos are the georeference. Are they from your camera?
they're from my phone and they're dated on my
Like
phone.
georeference with like latitude, longitude.
No, it's off of my neighbor's property in the back.
No, I know, but sometimes
Okay,
look at the photo.
It's 7:23, guys. We got 2 minutes.
So if you look at the photo, about the photo, there's a file, it'll tell you, it'll give you the georeference, latitude, longitude, where you're taking the picture from. And then you can just say, this is where I was taking the picture from. Shows up on Google Earth,
Yep,
and you should be able to get, I'm looking east, I'm looking west, I'm looking south. Because whenever we take pictures at a site, DEP wants us to have a georeference,
okay,
which is an option on your phone.
Yeah.
You have an Android?
yeah,
Yeah,
That
there's
Dave,
an
I think
option.
it's parcel 85. That's it.
Yeah, so there's an
That's the
option to do
parcel.
that.
Yeah.
That tells us what's location, and you can say, I'm looking east, west, south.
because I know what he's doing up there is not right at all.
You sent a PDF copy, I think, or Kathy sent us a PDF.
I sent her, I had the pictures taken off my phone and she just ran them through the machine and sent
She
you all the
scanned them.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Scanned,
she
yeah,
scanned them all.
Yeah, I need to, you send the originals. That would
I
help.
got my phone, they're on my phone,
Yeah, you know how to email them?
yes.
You can attach the file and email them to Kathy. Email the original to Kathy, and then she can send it to us. I'll see what the georeference
Off of the phone?
off the phone.
Okay.
You know how to do that, right? Just click on the picture and then send.
Yeah,
It'll go to
Yeah.
give the email address to Kathy, and then she'll send it to us. Send one or two. That way, we make sure we know that it's on there. If
yeah,
it's successful, I'll let you know if it's georeferenced.
Yeah.
But can you put the satellite photo, the 2022? It's going to be right here. 2021 there. That one there. That's the range. Zoom out. Pull back this way.
It's parcel 85, correct?
Yeah, clicked it.
Yeah, there it is.
You can X that out.
just exit.
Yeah. we don't do that.
There you go.
Where?
okay, so if you come up from the shooter shed, see that top pad? See the top pad here? To the left, down there, and then you get into that left corner, no, the right corner. No, I'm sorry, let me.
My other left.
Excuse me, let me point to right here. He's somewhere down in this area in here, off of this pad. So he's been going to the highest point on the property and dumping, and it's way higher than what it was. He changed the elevation of the property and everything, and they're just bulldozing everything over.
You live here?
Yes, 123.
This is yours?
Yeah.
You own this property?
Well, the purple lines are the property lines, so,
I'm right in here, 120.
yeah,
That's me. And my neighbor who was over here owns behind us all.
okay,
And he abuts the club.
yeah.
And the swamp goes behind everyone's house, and thank God I formed a committee and we didn't get
I
that
have a
fire
question.
sludge in there, because he would have contaminated all that property. And everyone's well in the area.
And this is uphill. This is all uphill.
He's on the top, the highest point just look for the highest point on his property and go up there. You can't miss it.
First, let's,
I have a question.
let me
guys.
drive by so I can visually see it from the street, but.
You won't see it
I
from
won't
the
see it
street.
Call
Question.
DEP, get the phone, get the images.
You'll give me the phone number.
And, here.
Yeah.
Bill,
Because now the brook is showing clear, but when we
Bill-
have a heavy rain, that mud was washing down that brook so bad.
Bill might be correct with DEP might be the best avenue for this.
Because someone's got to do something. This guy
Because if
can't
there's an
keep,
enforcement order, DEP would probably be the last one to have a crack at it.
because there's no way, you can't just do that to the property. So I don't care if he's grandfathered in since 1947 or whatever. I've been in town all my life.
Let's start at DEP, send us the photos to Kathy.
784-1100, Bill?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Correct.
I have a question for Rich. Rich,
Yes,
next to the number on Dave's image, next to the number 85 in magenta, going from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, there's a white strip. That's the shooter shed, correct?
no, that is, I believe, the upper slab. That's a concrete pad on the top of the elevation that he poured all on
Okay.
fill. That's a 10-foot by 90-foot slab, the same as a shooter shed.
Okay, because to the east of that, they put in a approved stream crossing per DEP several years ago as part of the enforcement action. Again, that's why I would strongly recommend, Rich, you talk to Tom Gruskos or the other fellow, Mike McGann, or what's his name? It's McHugh, Mike McHugh at DEP Springfield. They'll bring you up to date as to the status of the enforcement action at that particular site.
Because I know he went for a new cut permit and they didn't give him a cutting permit. So he just went up there and just started bulldozing everything.
Okay. Hey, listen, folks. Rich, thank you. It's 7:29 and we have appointments starting at 7:30.
Call and then send those pictures to Kathy,
Okay,
the originals.
yep.
Rich, thank you for coming down and sharing that with us.
So 7:30, public hearings. Appointments for public hearing, notice of intent 1650358, filed by Gary Toth for proposed construction of a small business building on a footprint of a demolished single-family home with regards to property located 81 Pleasant Street and known as map 3G12 in town of Granby. I'm going to recuse myself on this one because I work with the applicant's builder, and I did some initial work for the builder on that to help him along. So I would recuse myself in one way or the other, but the other issue we have is we don't have a quorum tonight. So,
True.
so Dave, I'll let you take over, and Bill, you guys can discuss.
Okay, Mr.
Bill, I
Ripperty's
think
here. Hi, Steve.
How's it going?
Very good. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, I'm trying to find the drawing here. Okay. We have two drawings. One we received just today, which we should caution our applicants that even for a continuance, we need 1 week to get information. So drawings coming in on the same day are subject to being disqualified just because there's no time. But I don't know, Bill, if you've had a chance to see the new drawing?
Yes, I did. I conversed, Dave, I conversed with Mr. Costa, actually recommending the change that is scribed in the 12-13-22 drawing.
Okay. Which is primarily the grass slope, I suppose, the swale.
No, we put in a staff gauge. There's a little monitoring staff gauge in the middle of the first basin, which will perform three purposes. It will provide a means of quantifying accumulated sediment. Number two, it will permit us to observe the water table beneath the basin. And three, it will provide a means of water quality sampling at a later date.
All right. And then
And
this
it's
is a
a
cross
very
section.
simple, it's a very simple device. It's 1.5 inch PVC pipe embedded with a hand auger. And George
So
will put that in himself.
All right. That, I think, other than the few detail items that were requested by Janice, which they did get to us on time, I think that completes everything we requested on the application. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, I'm prepared to approve the 12-13-22 drawings submitted by Mr. Costa today.
Okay, great. So
Now-
with our lack of quorum, how would we handle this? We can't close the public hearing. All we're going to do is note it. And at the
Yeah, we're
next,
just going to duly note it. One other thing, on the specials, once we get to the specials, Dave, you and Janice had concluded that there's an issue with lawn cutting debris on the project.
right, that was noted at the last meeting, that we didn't want any
Okay.
debris of lawn cuttings or leaves left on the property because everything is basically being utilized by either the business or the stormwater management system design that they have. So
Okay.
we didn't feel there was any room for any, like, any heaps of leaves that you want to compost or anything like that. There's no room for
Right,
that.
right. Yeah, in reality, if Gary Toth hires a third-party landscaping firm to take care of his property, the landscapers will take that debris off-site anyway.
Usually they do. Yeah.
Right. But I think
We can note.
prohibiting dumping debris on that parcel or any adjacent parcel, of course, I think is going to be prohibited.
That, so with the approved drawing that they submitted today and that little special condition that we just talked about, we would be prepared to close the public hearing and at the next meeting, close the public hearing and put the special conditions together for the order conditions at the
Right.
January meeting.
Steve, we're prepared to vote and approve this tonight, but I got informed one of our members got injured at work several hours ago. He's in the emergency room and he constituted the fourth member necessary for quorum.
Happens. Hope he's all
And
right.
that happened. So I guess the good news is we've got 5 inches of snow on the ground. So I suspect a month probably will not be a deal breaker on this project.
No, I think at this time it's probably fine.
Okay, but as far as I'm concerned, you're good to go. You need not do any more work on this project. So as far as I can say, well done.
Great. No, thank you, Bill.
Okay,
Easy
Steve,
meeting.
thank you. Yeah, no, George did an excellent job. Is Alan with you as well there?
No, I'm at home tonight. I don't know if
You're at
Alan's
home
on.
tonight? Okay.
Turn the bus.
Dave, is Alan and George at the meeting hall?
Yes.
Oh, how are you? Yes, he is.
Okay, just convey to Alan and George our best regards. And again, as far as I'm concerned, this last revision is good to go.
Okay. Well, he heard you.
Okay, so again, we'll close and vote next meeting.
Yep, that's what I wrote down. What did you? Yeah,
Ask for, they have to give permission.
we have to ask for a continuation?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, we still have to continue.
Well, they have to grant it.
we can't do anything other than that, though.
Steve has to say that's okay. Okay.
Is Steve representing or is Alan representing? Is
Whatever,
Steve,
I think it's just a technicality.
Yeah. we don't have a quorum tonight, Alan, we can capture that. So we have to, even though we've approved everything, we have a little bit of special conditions. We have to ask for continuance to the January meeting where everything will get approved and closed at that point. Is that okay? So Alan grants his permission to move to the next meeting. Did you
To
hear that
continue
okay?
until January. Okay, thank
Continue
you.
to January.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very
That's
much.
January 10th. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so I move that we continue till January 10th at 7:30.
All right, Bill and Ed. Ed will second it.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
No further discussion and all approved.
Okay. Okay, guys, have a good holiday. We'll see you in a month.
Yeah, you guys too. Take care.
Okay, thank you. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead. Mr. Costa, go ahead. Is that it?
We have, yes. Well, it was rolled up with.
Yes,
the rest
yeah, this,
of it.
just
Is that
take
me?
it.
We
I
should
don't
just
know.
take it, yeah. That's the one with mailed today?
Supersedes the previous submittal.
Perfect. Yeah, that's, well, we need two of them, but
If you need to,
Is
well,
that what you want to?
that's normally what we get her too.
okay, so we'll get to a second.
Al will get that to Kathy.
All right, we could, because we have two places for files, so that's why we need two.
I'll mark this receipt.
Then digital is what we use, but we still have file forms. So we gotta put paper in there. Thank you. All right. Do I need to sign that too, or just one?
Just initial.
Just initial it?
I didn't put my initials on it.
Yep. All right. Okay, Bill,
Thank you.
All right.
That's it. You want to go
So-
to Mass Highway, DOT?
Yeah, we can do, they're sitting there very politely, so.
So let me, item number 2, continuation of NOI 1650356, filed by Patricia Leavenworth, PE, for Mass DOT for proposed Route 202 project, intersection improvements at 5 Corners and the School Street roundabout, located in the town of Granby. So we closed this hearing out last month,
Meeting, we did.
last meeting.
We did.
So did we made a,
We had talked about a couple different special conditions, nothing specific. Janice submitted some template language, Bill, that I shared with you regarding what she would like to see identified as special conditions. Did you have a chance to review them?
Not
Bill?
in their entirety, Dave.
I can briefly,
Yeah.
just so I can enter it into the record. She talked about 4 different things. The first one was definition of wetland replication area. So in other words, she'd like to see something regarding monitoring the site for for 2 full growing seasons. And this is the site, we learned that all replication will take place near the 5 Corners area, that in any area that they're taking wetlands, it all will be replicated near the 5 Corners. So she's suggesting that the site be monitored for 2 full growing seasons, and that an annual.
Just a quick aside on that, Dave. That's actually part of the regulation. That's in the regulatory code. So it's somewhat superfluous, but again, we'll put it in as a special as well. I have no problem with that, but that is in the code.
Well, if it's in the law, should we be putting it in as redundant then? That's
Well, we can discuss that next time.
all right. The second thing she talked about is related to the monitoring and having an annual report submitted to the Conservation Commission regarding the findings of the various visits, and that the areas, thirdly, the areas that are being replicated must have a minimum of 75% vegetated wetlands with approved wetland species. So in other words, we're not looking for invasives or any alien things that might grow in there. And if it doesn't reach the 75% coverage within that 2-year period, it has to be reseeded, and that the monitoring would be extended for another year or 2 years based on the Conservation Commission's desire. So that was the
Again,
first.
Yeah, again, Dave, that's actually in the regulatory code. But again, if we want to include it as a special as well, that's fine too.
All right. The next one she talked about was the 100-year compensatory floodplain area that's off of School Street, that we should get the DOT engineer to inspect the project after its completion to verify that the installation is as designed to meet the capacity requirements.
an as-built?
As an as-built, in other words, to make sure it's installed properly. I think that's a good suggestion. Is that in the
Of course,
code?
well, they're going to have to shoot the grades. The engineer's going to have to shoot the grades to make sure that their volumes are proper. Absolutely.
Well, what she's saying is you're going to install it, and certainly you're going to be shooting grades to install it.
Of
But what
course,
she's
of course.
asking is at the end, somebody come out and do an as-built to make sure it's been installed properly.
I think that's standard too.
That's
That's,
You know, in a perfect world, they'd have a PE or an RLS stake out the basin before they start cutting it down. Then they're going to actually do the earthwork, and then at the end, they'll have the engineer come back and verify that the earthwork was accomplished in accordance with the specifications.
Okay. Is that
That's an
DOT
as-built.
standard? Yeah, as-built.
Just,
That's-
just request
so
an
there's-
as-built.
There's some redundancy there, which increases the probability of it having been done correctly.
So on this project, Bill, I think we have to sign a certificate of compliance at the end, correct?
Oh, yes.
So usually a certificate of compliance, there's an as-built that goes along with it on the areas that were.
Right, yeah, I would have their RLS write a letter, seal the letter with their stamp, just saying it's done in accordance with the spec, and then we'll sign off. But we won't sign off until they present a sealed letter to that effect. That's good practice.
It's usually a plan, not a letter. Usually it's an actual as-built is actually physically going out there
Yeah.
measuring, not just.
Yeah, we're not personally going to take responsibility for their work, certainly.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Is this standard language that the DOT would normally do?
The first two, yeah, the as-built usually is in there somewhere, but it doesn't hurt to throw it in there.
All right.
It's not, it's redundant, like you said, but it's.
The last thing on that
It's-
area is she's stipulating that we would also be looking that there's no invasive species or alien species in this finished
Right
area.
before, correct.
It's for maintenance purposes and stuff.
Is that
like
in perpetuity?
No time limit, so I don't know.
I mean, because we had a few projects in town that, you know, they have a maintenance plan, if you will, to get rid of what bittersweet or whatever.
Right.
Kind of invasive.
You know,
species.
that's a good point, guys. They should have to come by every year or two, inspect that for invasives. If there are invasives, take the invasives out of the system.
So that would be a special condition then?
Well, especially in the
Oh, yeah.
replication.
Yeah, I'll draft
Repli-
something to that effect, but that's an important
That's-
condition, actually.
Replication does have a time stipulation.
Right.
The compensatory storage area, the floodplain area
Does
doesn't.
not. No.
That's
No,
right.
Floodplain, you don't, there's no wetlands in that floodplain per se. It's one
Right.
of those flood control areas, so we're not dealing with wetland plants in there, but the restoration
Yeah.
area.
The
You
restoration
still
area.
don't want invasives. You don't want invasives in there either.
Oh, you don't, but you know, that could be, how would they get it? I guess,
Well, a bird flying by.
Yeah, I know.
So that's how it normally gets transmitted. So
it's a never ending battle. It's
So you-
always gonna be there.
can you say forever? I don't know
You
if you
can't,
can do that.
it's impossible.
Uh,
the
The
best you
problem
can.
is, it's not easily enforceable. That's the problem.
Well, that's the challenge. That's the challenge.
So we'd have to file an enforcement action against Mass DOT, and they could tell us to pound sand.
We won't plow your streets if we don't.
That's
Anyway,
exactly
she
right.
had two others. She had two others, Bill. And one was the roundabout island at School Street that she wanted to make sure we controlled the plantings that are on the island in the center of the roundabout, that we make sure there's no invasives or anything in there. So I
Is
think
that in our jurisdiction though?
Dave, did they call out the plantings in the island?
I don't think they've identified planting
I
yet.
thought they did.
Has? I
Did you
don't-
guys give us a plan with the plantings? In the, yeah.
Oh, there is.
Our landscape section of Boston, it's looked at all the plants and everything.
You know,
They
the
did.
problem with those plantings, I'm sure you all go to Atkins and you see the double rotary at Atkins.
Right.
The problem is nobody maintains the plantings during the growing season.
Well, it's grass, isn't it? You just mow it.
Well,
They started out with some plants and.
it
the
starts
plants
out
didn't-
as some beautiful, some fine species of wildflowers and fescue and stuff like that, and it ends up a bunch of weeds. That's what it ends up happening there,
It's just the way, yeah, it's just
But that's
maintenance
Mother
issue.
Nature.
and that's just the way it is.
I suspect that's do the same with this one. It'll start out looking very nice and it'll
Yeah.
just maintenance is gonna,
Required to be
That's why,
mowed.
from a practical point of view, the best plantings are cobblestones.
yeah.
You don't have to
I would
worry
agree
about
with
the
that.
cobblestones.
Well, that's probably not going to enter into the special conditions.
I don't know if that's our
No,
jurisdiction.
no.
No, Bill, I don't think.
That's-
Anyways,
No,
that was her
that's
third
the
one.
problem. No, go ahead, Dave.
The last one was a discoverance when we were on site. We did our walkabout. And if you remember at the Turkey Hill Brook, the Forge Pond Bridge, that's an old concrete plank bridge that
Yes.
appeared to be in need of repair. And she was recalling, Bill, observations you made about should we include it in as part of work being done in the other areas. Now, their work, if you remember, stops at that bridge. It doesn't include the bridge.
If
So
it
the
doesn't
bridge
go to
is,
the bridge,
the
it's
bridge
a
is
different project,
outside
yeah.
of the work scope,
Right.
scope of work.
They're not ready to do the bridge. When they have to do the bridge, they'll have to come back to us.
Yeah.
Right?
I think there was some minor concrete work that needed to be accomplished. It wasn't major.
But
it
it's
was minor.
outside the scope of
Right.
work though,
It's
Bill.
not presented in the plan, so we don't deal with it. And if it's minor, if it's just repair work, it's probably
Yeah.
underneath the auspice of the overall, something like Dave goes in for, Dave DeRoche comes in for the town permit. It covers him for all those repairs. It's probably just if it's a decking issue, it's just repair the
Dave,
deck.
when we were on site, what was our commentary, me, you, and Janice? What did we conclude regarding that?
We were focusing on, I think, the degradation of some of the concrete guardrails. That's what of my recollection. At the curb on the north side seemed to have some degradation, but the point I had was we were outside the scope of work. So the line came up to the bridge. It did not include the bridge, which I think was done purposely.
Right.
So-
Yeah, once you open that
Okay,
can
all
of
right,
worms.
so you're certain of that?
That's my recollection, and we can pull up
I
a,
can
we
ask,
can pull up a
we haven't
bridge.
asked DOT.
Yeah, why
now.
don't you pull up the sketch if you have a second
You guys
there?
are going to repair that bridge, right? That's-
That's not going to be.
Correct. Yeah, I don't think, Bill, that bridge is not in the.
Well, let's
works right
just double check. Only takes a second.
I'm just gonna pick up hopefully.
You guys don't have a plan, do you?
I have it here.
There we go, we got it.
Construction sheets, there you go.
I just gotta look for the right sheet. Whoop.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's Amherst Street, that's the
That's-
other one. There you go, Dave.
Well,
Yes.
that's,
Scroll east.
I'm already looking at the edge here.
Limit depth pavement, right here, there's this white area is probably outside, that pavement staying.
There'll be resurfacing, so a little further east, there should be another sheet.
It's over here.
Bill, scroll down, see if we have it. There you go.
Yeah.
That's it.
So this is the waterway right here. You can see Forge Pond,
Yeah, there's the abutment right
and
there.
there's the bridge, and the saw
Saw
cut
cut's
is
right
right
there.
at the bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
see that?
limited project is 5 feet from the edge of the bridge.
That's right.
So
Okay,
that's not
all right.
in the
They did that on purpose.
plan. I got to stop somewhere.
You don't want to go to
Okay.
Belchertown?
Good enough
That'll be
then.
the next phase, that's all. No big deal.
All right, Bill.
Okay, guys, well,
So-
notwithstanding, I'm prepared to vote to approve, but again, we have no quorum, so we'll have to table this until next month.
Well, we have.
We've already closed the
We've
public
closed the public
hearing.
hearing.
We're just working on the special conditions at this point.
Right,
Dave.
that's right.
On your notes, do we vote on this as a, we closed the
No, we
public hearing.
can't, we can't vote to approve
At
yet.
the last meeting, we did not vote on it, we just closed it.
We voted on closing the public
That was
hearing.
it.
We didn't vote on any special conditions.
That's fine.
That was.
So we're gonna have to continue this to the next meeting, but
Right,
it's.
and
It's
here's
basically
the other,
point.
here's the other talking point, gentlemen. I would be happy to start crafting the specials on the EDEP form, but since we haven't voted to approve the project, the computer will not let me to insert those into the text files. So I have to wait till next month before we can actually craft these things. So if you have any other particular changes you want to make on the specials, let me know and I'll write them in there.
Well, I just wrote the only ones that I have unless you or Ed come up with other ones.
Okay,
I-
and
I
if you
was-
could, Dave, forward me your little notes on that as well, Dave, if you could, please. Your short
Say
notes.
that again.
Forward the
No,
Oh.
forward your short notes on the specials, Dave, at your leisure.
I will.
Thank you. Okay.
Is that
Okay, so
landscaping?
we'll continue this project till January 10
Is this in our jurisdiction?
for the vote.
I know the whole project can be in our jurisdiction once one thing touches it. I don't know if that's a resource area.
Where are you
Can we
pointing?
talk about this landscape?
Yeah,
It's kind of a moot point. It's out of our jurisdiction, I think.
this
It's in
area.
a flood
here.
zone, obviously.
This,
Yeah.
it's in a flood zone?
Well, that's where the compensatory
so
storage is coming.
100, 200,
That's the riverfront area.
yeah.
Yeah. You guys,
You're the best people working.
yeah, you have the, yeah, I don't see an issue with it, so. If it gets stuck in the specials, it gets stuck in the specials.
They're gonna mow it.
So we're gonna have to ask you guys to continue the meeting till next because we don't have a quorum.
Okay.
So hopefully we have enough people next time to close it out and get you rolling.
Okay.
So,
All right, but that essentially, that's what
Is
we're.
that Bob Notario that's there?
no, Mr. Notario is not here. Go ahead. What's your name?
Paul Kelly.
Mr. Paul
Kelly.
Kelly and
Ethan?
Ethan. So,
Oh, that's
Thank you.
one of their engineers. Okay, we'll give them our best and apologize that we didn't have quorum tonight.
so we'll get you on the next one.
Next one,
and
it should be done at that point.
so,
All right. Thank you. Thank
We'll be on the agenda again.
oh yes,
Yeah.
we're at, permission to continue?
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Already wrote it. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
We're gonna put you on the next 7:30 again, next meeting.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have another one here for continuation of NOI. You want me to go ahead, Bill, and read this through?
Oh, yes, I have info on that. Yeah, go ahead, Ed, please.
It's
Christopher
Mr. Christopher Aldrich for the demolition of the old mill. I don't think anybody's here for that. Anybody else?
Yeah, I talked to Mr. Costa this afternoon, and he agrees to continue till January 10 as well.
Okay. You want me to open it and just say continue?
Yeah, of course.
All right, I'm gonna, this is a continuation of notice of intent 165-0352, filed by Christopher Aldrich for a proposed demolition of a barn, which is located on the bank of Bachelor Brook. Prior to demolition, sediment and erosion control will be installed. All debris will be removed from the site, with the exception of the stone foundation, which will be brought down to grade and left on site with regards to property located at 49 Aldrich Street, known as map 1-C-8 in the town of Granby. So this is a continuation. We don't have a quorum, but Mr. George Costa's here for the applicant.
Give an update, I think.
Looking to continue.
Oh. The
So
January.
January.
Okay.
Okay, so we have permission to continue.
All right.
Thank you.
We have legal. I ask you if you have my permission to continue.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
thank you.
all.
Thanks.
Oh, George is still there? Okay.
Yeah, he is here.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, because I talked to him on the phone today about this. Okay, very good, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you guys have anything else you guys want to add?
Which one?
I don't know.
No, just want to stick around for the Aldrich to inform the committee, that I want to continue until next,
Next.
Okay.
January
January 10th.
10.
10th, yeah.
10.
I'll be here on the 12th, though. Yeah, January 10th. All right, thank you.
Thank you for coming out.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care.
Thank
See you, Ellen. We have to go on to, we have another item here, request for certificate of compliance 165-085, Bernier at 7 Phillips
Yeah.
Circle. That's a continuation again, but Bill, can you remind us, did that property get sold?
Yes, it
Well,
did.
now that
here's
people-
my understanding. The property was sold. I think the conveyance has gone through. It's closed. I don't know if the new buyer didn't go through a bank or whether or not their lawyer ignored the outstanding order on the property. But to make a long story short, is we asked them to put up the birdhouses at least a year ago. They have not been put up to date. And all is static on that property. So I think essentially we're pounding sand at this point.
So that order of conditions will stay on the title until somebody says, well, let's get it cleared up again, right?
That's right.
Well,
Apparently,
the lien already
somebody
exists.
allowed the transaction to go through without addressing the outstanding order. That's correct.
Well, that order of conditions is like a lien on the property, so
Yes.
until another
yes.
lawyer comes along to see that lien, or as you pointed out, a bank attorney could also, if she's looking to get a second mortgage, a home equity line, something like that, somebody could flag it at that point. And my big question is, do we have to keep it on the agenda or can it just drop off? I think Janice had suggested, should the GCC write a letter to her or Mr. Bernier, because he's the one that requested it, but he's also the one that sold it and he's gone to Florida or wherever he went.
Yeah, he's out of town, so it'd be the new occupant. That's right.
Well, he's out of the picture, so this 165-085 is actually a request COC from Mr. Bernier. Is he the one we need to continue communication with? Or should we go?
Well, here's the point. If the transaction went through without notice of this particular order of conditions successfully, then they really don't need our sign off,
That's right.
which means we ought to let sleeping dogs lie at this point.
This is not an enforcement order, is it?
No.
That's right. No, it is not. See, it is not an That's why I would recommend, let's just take the thing off the agenda. If it comes back that they need this for their document file, then we'll revisit it. But right now we're wasting time discussing this.
That's
It
right.
does. We talked too much about it.
Very good.
Right.
165-154, corner of Crescent and West Street. That's
And that-
Bill Chapdelaine.
That's right. And Janice got a firm direction from Bill Chapdelane's attorney saying they're withdrawing everything. So
So that's
that
gone.
can be taken off.
Yeah, that was
That's
Attorney Seidel. Attorney Seidel was the attorney of record on that project. Apparently, again, they must have conveyed the property without due attention to this order of conditions.
Right. Well, I think it's a vacant lot too, so, and Mr. Chapdelaine owns it, and anyway,
Yeah,
it's just gone.
lot,
Okay.
165-174, lot 2, Bachelor Street. I have no idea where that is.
That again is a request for CO, certificate of occupancy, or
Oh, that's-
order of conditions.
Okay.
And that is one that is being requested by, and it's very vague.
I know where that is.
The lawyer, yeah, she was told that she doesn't know who the people are that live on the property now.
It was attorney like Mike LeBrie that submitted it.
Maybe.
Dave, would you be kind enough to call that up on Mass GIS, please?
Yep.
So we can look at it.
Yep.
Thank you. Yeah, Kevin, I think, got hurt at the golf course. I hope he didn't get cut with a mower blade or something.
I don't think they're cutting more grass now.
Well,
So-
no, but I got a feeling he was sharpening. He's probably working on sharpening some blades in the shop.
We can talk about that later, Bill.
Yeah.
Well, it's lot 2 on Bachelor Street,
It's gonna be-
and she told me it's close to this 82, I think, Bachelor Street. Do you know where it is?
I did the bank.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So 82 Bachelor. Yes,
Can you see
scroll
that
down a
okay,
little
Bill?
bit if you would, Dave.
Do
Scroll down. a
what,
touch.
Bill?
Okay, there it is. Okay,
What?
I'm looking at, so 82. Ed, remember a year or two ago, someone asked to they wanted to put in a structure within so many feet of Bachelor Brook.
Well, there's a structure
It's
on
not
it.
ringing a bell, but yeah.
Yeah, somebody wanted to put a swimming pool in the riverfront area near Bachelor Brook. I'm wondering if this is that particular site.
I couldn't tell you.
Dave, would you zoom out, please, on this? Zoom out. Zoom out. I
This
want to
is-
see. Yeah, zoom
that
your
far
image
enough
out. Please. Okay, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Okay, so that means. Oh, okay. This is near Trout Lily Lane. Then this is
Yeah.
near Trout Lily
Oh, it's
Lane.
across. It's across the brook from Trout Lily Lane.
Yes, it is. Okay, yeah, all right, all right. And who's the owner of record of 82?
Just click on it, it'll tell you.
Which is this one? 82 Bachelor is Vesey
That's not,
Frankovich.
Rankovic. Vesna
Yes.
Rankovic. Okay. Doesn't ring a bell immediately. Now, what exactly were they asking for?
That's his, yeah.
Was this an old notice of intent from years ago?
Yes, and she couldn't find anything on it.
Okay. So this was probably a house that was constructed in the riverfront years and years ago. They probably got their order of conditions. They never got their COC. So this
And
is
there
one
is-
we'd have to look in the deep archive files for.
Well, it's only called Lot 2.
So it's sometime after Bill Chapdelaine, because it's 154,
Yeah,
we're at 174.
This is a real head scratcher, this one then.
Yeah, this is probably.
And the problem is,
15, 20 years
she
old.
the lawyer never gave her a contact person for the property, so she doesn't know who the people are. And the lawyer said, "Don't worry, I told them you guys are going to show up." But there was no, I mean, and she didn't follow through on that. It was
We don't
really
have any drawings either. I don't know what.
no drawings. There's nothing. In my opinion, I don't think we should accept this. This is not a request.
Well, listen,
there
here's
is
what
a
I-
request, actually.
Here's what I will do. Tomorrow morning, I got to go to Atkins in the morning anyway to do some shopping. I will drive home via Bachelor Street and just do a visual from the road as to see if there's any activity on that, in that vicinity.
Well, there's probably no activity considering the age of the property. Whoops. But
Yeah, but if it's a new lot, if it's a newly designated lot, that means it's ripe for construction.
that's true. Maybe because of the shape of this, maybe they cut a piece
I
of it
bet you
off.
they cut a bunch of, it's very possible they cut a bunch of trees down there.
Yeah. But this all says Aldridge Lake Basin 1. Now, obviously
see
that name could belong on top of the blue
Right,
because this program is not very accurate.
right. Because I know there are detention basins as part of the Trout Lily Lane project,
That's
but
nothing to do with-
I don't believe they were as depicted in this Aldridge Lake Basin 1. I don't think that's anything to do with their detention basin because they're on the wrong side of the wetland.
Yeah. No, I
All
think
right.
the name Aldridge, I think the Aldridge Lake Basin 1 belongs on top of the blue.
If you want to talk, I'll take one downstairs. See, these are files?
These are files also.
Are these ours?
Yep. Yep. Those over there. Ed's going to try to do a quick look about. I think Janice did look for it though.
165, 174.
Yeah, 174.
So Dave, is there any notice of intent number pursuant to this?
Yeah, 165, 174.
Oh, 174. That's probably 20 years old.
Very old.
That's rather
Yeah.
old.
Ed's going to run downstairs to see if he can find
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. I think that's probably in the 1980s.
Oh, wow.
You know.
So how can you respond to something like this?
What we've done historically is a lot of people let their NOI and COCs drag until they sell their property. Some of them are 20, 30, even 40 years old.
Oh,
So they actually pay us a premium to do the COC. And the reason they pay us a premium, namely $200, is that we have to do all this additional digging to figure out what's going on.
well, it's $300 because it's past 3 years. But it does require extra effort. You're right.
Oh, of course it does. Of course it does. But that's why it behooves people to get their sign-offs in a in the general, in the 3-year window that's required by the state.
Right, right.
Oh God.
All right, well, that's the, we already talked about our site determinations because we had none.
Yep.
And we completed all of our administrative duties. I couldn't find anything, the Eversource MEPA filing, that's something we're waiting for, I believe, right, Bill?
Well, actually, you know what we're waiting for in Eversource is that, yeah, we're waiting on that culvert rebuild project.
Well-
remember on the Eversource project, we tied in a remedial project on a stream crossing.
Yes, but is that triggering the MEPA?
No, has nothing to do with it. No.
No.
But
Okay.
I have to communicate, and I'll dig out the contact person. We have to communicate with Eversource, say, by the way, as part of your work, you promised to do this stream crossing in the town of Granby. Please advise when this project will begin and be completed.
Because that's up by Bachelor Street, I think, right?
Yes, yeah. And we'll coordinate with Mr. DeRocher on that as well, of course.
Yeah. I think I'm right next to it here, right? If I go down the
Yes,
road.
yeah, you're very close. You're very close. Yep.
Will the power lines show up? Well,
Dave, you've got a remarkably good internet connection tonight. That's good. That's
yeah, we
excellent.
do. Well, I was here this week and Jeremy Carrier actually showed me how to connect. So they have the Wi-Fi connection is right here in the room, actually.
Oh, good. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
So that's why it gave me, I can't find it. The right of way is not going to show up on here. I thought it would. Because that right of way is close to Aldridge Street, isn't it? Not Aldridge, Amherst Street.
Yes.
But it's not showing up here. Well, I can turn on the aerial.
So I'll give
Here.
Kevin a call tomorrow, see how he's doing. But again, being minus quorum is somewhat problematic. Oh, there they are. There's your right of way. There it is.
That's the right of way. Is the stream in the right of way?
It should not be.
No, it shouldn't be. So that culvert repair was actually outside of their right of way, right?
I believe so.
Oh, all right. Because Emily was checking on that for us, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's the Eversource MEPA filing, which is just open, and then the update on the Munsing Ridge. I think when you finish that up,
It's
we'll
all
be
done.
We'll
It
be
is
done,
done.
won't we? It is
It's done. It's completed.
You
All I
haven't-
have to do is change the file name. I got to put a security stamp on each of the submittals so that they're not tamperable by anybody.
Right.
And then I got to get the full files to Kathy on a flash drive. What I'm going to plan on doing is I've got a composite that's 60 megabytes that I'll give to Kathy on the flash drive. However, the 3 components of the 60 megabyte composite package are each less than 25 megabytes, which make them easily sent via email.
Great.
And I believe I sent everybody those a couple of nights ago.
You did?
I believe
Or
so.
you sent I didn't see anything.
Yeah, well, I'll resend them. But anyway, the bottom line is that job's complete, finally.
Okay, so you'll give it to Kathy and then she will announce to the select board that that CR is complete?
Yes, and what Kathy will do is she'll send it to the printer, because I think the state needs a hard copy. She'll print out hard copies as needed. We're not going to do that. Let them do that.
Oh, no, certainly.
Yeah.
The state does need a copy of it, but it, as I recall, it has a place for signatures, doesn't it? The commission signatures, or no?
I don't recall, Dave. I don't recall.
One of the ones that Janice had passed around had signatures of
Okay.
their commission. Maybe not, maybe not.
Anyway, I'm glad. Hey, Dave, thank you for your help. Thank you for everybody that helped on that. That was quite an undertaking.
Well, it was a big job.
Well, it was a good sized job. Again, we saved the town, I believe, between $10,000 and $12,000 of taxpayer money. So we should
Right.
probably pat ourselves on the back for that.
Well, this is my first time at the library, Bill, and I wanted, and after Jeremy showed me how to connect up, and I'm using the monitor that's on the wall in here, so everybody can see what's on the screen, and it actually worked out pretty well, I think.
Good. No, good. How do you like the acoustics there, Dave?
Actually, they work very good. I guess the only challenge is the mic is on my computer, so that's why you have to be close to the computer. When Ed was sitting at the head table, you couldn't hear him.
Right, because
So-
the reverb is phenomenal in that room. I wish we
Yeah.
put in some acoustical blankets hung from the ceiling, would do wonders for that space.
Yeah, it would help for sure,
Yeah,
because it
call up
bounces
Johnson
around.
Acoustics.
When this room was full of books, you didn't have a problem with it, but
That's right, because you
Now
had
it's-
damping. You have no damping. You have no acoustical damping in that room. It's like an echo chamber.
right, not anymore. So
Right.
Ed is coming back upstairs. We'll see.
Missing once.
Unless we could buy a bunch of anechoic foam wedges and put them all over the place. That would help.
He found the section of the files, Bill, and this particular number 174 is missing.
There is a card that says out, but I don't know if the out card is in reference to that 174.
Oh,
So
Anyway, listen, I'll do a drive around tomorrow and at least see what I can see from the road, and I'll report back to you guys.
all right.
it would have been around.
Anyway,
Well,
anything
he's
else for
thinking-
tonight?
Nope.
Ed was thinking it's 1999, Bill.
1999,
So you're
2000.
talking about 20 years ago. So the likelihood.
We've dealt with
that-
older. We've dealt with older.
Yeah. Well, good luck.
Okay,
So,
guys, I move we adjourn.
We can close the meeting at 8:16 then, Bill.
Yeah, I move we adjourn tonight's meeting. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.